Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, mobettamofastta. We have another Mobetta episode here today. Working on an '02 Hyundai Elantra. Just average run around everyday family car. Nothing too spectacular. But like I said, I mean, we're replacing the clutch on it. So a family member of the last gentleman that we worked on, we got Juan. His Ford Escort. Well, we got his, I believe he said his brother-in-law's car. That the clutch went out, so it is actually it's toast. So I'll give you a quick walk around on this thing, and then we'll go ahead and get to tearing it apart. Get this old clutch out. All right, so here is the car. Sorry about that, guys. You know, like I said, I mean, I don't have any fancy equipment as far as recording here right now. That is planned in the future. I want to definitely do that. But right now I'm just working off my smartphone and just working with what I got. True redneck style. We do what we got to do what we want to do. Use the stuff around us or what we have access to, and that includes we don't have much money to work with, then we make do with what we can afford to get, like PVC pipe and, you know, foam or something. I don't know, didn't think about that thoroughly, but something to create an air filter or you know, like the last car, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the coil springs were cut. Not this one, but he decided to try and lower it himself, which I've done. I'll admit. I'm not gonna lie. I had a early '90s Honda Accord coupe, and I did the same thing. Didn't want to spend the money because it was a little beater car. Didn't want to spend the money on buying lowering springs or coilovers or anything, because, you know, well, it was just a beater. I wasn't planning on doing anything major to it. It was just a little runaround. So I just decided, you know what, I want to lower it. I'm going to cut the coil springs. And I slammed it. It was sitting on bump stops. I tried cutting bump stops, and it still was sitting on them. The wheels were tucked. It was low. But, alright, so this is the car. Nothing too fancy, just replace the clutch, typical repair. And we got the new parts sitting in the box. Whoa. New parts sitting in the box right there. New pressure plate, disc, and throw-out bearing. Hopefully nothing else is damaged in the process, like the fork, because right now this thing it don't want to move. Oh, got a little bit of movement out of the clutch, but that's all the travel, the pedal going in, just that little bit. It don't want to come back. So I'm hoping that fork's not broke. Looks like it's a fairly newer slave cylinder. So it seems like it's got smooth travel up to that point, so I don't know if that's jammed. I don't think that would be it. It seems more internal. Once I get this pin out and see if that actually frees it up. If it does, then I know it's a slave cylinder that's bad. But I think it's actually internal. I don't know like I said, I don't know if the fork is broken or bent, or if it's just worn through the pressure plate and something wedged in there. Oh, we'll see when we get it apart. All right, I'm going to get to it. All right, so here we go. Still working on this '02 Hyundai Elantra. You see, I got the suspension all apart on this side. Got it all zip tied up. Because I didn't want to take it all apart. So you got lower control arm out. I just said, you know what, don't want to take it all apart completely. So I pulled this all up and out of the way. Least amount of disassembly as possible. A little shield out of the way. A little plastic guard. I got another plastic guard I got to pull out here. A couple little screws. Got to get at the rack and pinion. Got to get at the rack underneath there. This is like 4 bolts on that guy. I'll get a better view on the other side. Come around. I got the support bar on here. Chained up. It's all ready to go. Got the motor mount here off. There's that little bracket that goes over the top, and a few bolts or nuts. That goes right in there. Across there. Got that out so I can be able to shift this thing around. A couple sensors that I had to disconnect. Disconnect the linkage. Back in here. Got it just kind of tucked back up back in here. Tucked back out of the way. Got the starter out and loose. Just kind of resting on one of the engine brackets underneath here. Got this side completely apart. Got the lower control arm, hub, axle, everything out over here. Just zip tied the brake caliper up here. And there's all the shielding and everything out of the way. And in here, there's a bolt right in here. And the other one, there it is. You can kind of see it. It's back right there. That bolt there. And you can see the bottom one on that side. There's one on the top behind those lines, or right above the lines over there. Another bolt on that side that holds this whole assembly in, and it's going to be held up with zip ties, bungee cords. That's to get it off of this subframe with the subframe and this sway bar and all this here. Got the 2 bolts out already, little bolts here, but I see those 2 here. Gonna have this bolt here. It's gonna come out, and then another one there. And then there's 4 or 2 over there to pull out. And then this whole subframe will come out. But before I do that, I gotta get this transmission mount and this transmission mount unbolted. And that'll be free hanging. And the subframe will then drop with those 4 bolts. Get that out of the way. And then I can get my transmission jack underneath here. And between that and this support bar, let this sucker down a bit and be able to get at the last few bolts that are down underneath. I believe there's 3 more bolts down underneath that I can get to while I'm under there with the jack. And then once I get those loose, then I can pull that transmission off of there and be able to get at the parts inside there. Yeah, you can see I pulled that slave cylinder back, and it's just kind of sitting up here out of the way. This does have nice, clean, free, easy movement. So that's not jammed up. But this guy, sorry about wiggling the camera here, but that guy does not want to move that way at all, which it needs to move out probably another inch or 2, probably a couple inches for the full travel. It's wedged, so we'll see what's causing that when we get this thing down, whether, like I said, it's the clutch fork or the pressure plate itself that's bad. This stuff, new alignment tool. You got get all this cardboard out of the way. There's a new pressure plate. I'm wondering if this is just the throwout bearing here is worn out. Already locked in there. Because that locks onto fork as well, so wondering if that is bad or what's going on here, or if these fingers are all wore out and they just push through. There's the new disc. You can see it's got some distance to the rivets. It should get nice new material. Alright, so that's the new goodies. Well, it came with a little bit of spline lubricant too. Cool. Don't always put that in there. Alright. And that's one thing, I don't know how many guys here live in areas where it snows. They put salt and junk on the roads. You got a set of steel wheels that are on your vehicle. They tend to get rusted on right in here and on the back side. Then they become attached to your hub and you can't get the wheels off very easy, which I had to deal with this thing. I ended up sticking a pry bar down in, or a big screwdriver down back behind here between the hub over here and the rim, and just popped it out, hammered it in there and popped it, got it to separate off of here. Even the brake rotor was stuck on here, so I ended up having to do the similar thing on that, get it to pop off, because even with the breaker loose, it wasn't working fast enough. I wanted to get her done, so I got her done, got it all apart, out ready. Just a few more bolts and I'll be ready to drop this trans. But it's about time for me to start cleaning up, take a shower, and head to my night job. So tomorrow afternoon I'm going to pick back up on this and keep continuing and get this thing done. Alright guys. Alright, so we got this thing all tore apart, transmission out, clutch and everything out. As you guys saw, but I got this engine lowered down now. See, big hole, missing a big piece. I don't know what could possibly be there. For some reason, the car just won't go anywhere unless I'm on a hill. Just kidding. Anyway, yeah, old clutch and pressure plate disc. New parts. Ready to go back in. Oh, transmission. That would help. Battery hiding back there. Subframe all out. All cleaned up. Had my daughter hit it with a pressure washer. Get all the grime off of it for them. So we got new ball joints on the way. That boot is kind of starting to split, but the other ball joint on the other side is just all sorts of wobbly. Mounts look good in this car. Other thing that I did find is the cause of it basically being locked in gear was not because of clutch failure necessarily. The clutch disc and pressure plate look to be okay. It's getting close to the final end. It was due to be replaced, but that wasn't the cause of it being locked up. What was the cause is that guy right there, which is the clutch master cylinder, which basically the clutch pedal pushes right into that. It's jammed up, so it's not pushing fluid out through the line up to this guy. This guy seems to cycle, and I can see the fluid moving back and forth in the reservoir. So this guy is functional, which is the slave cylinder, which mounts down here on the, would be down here, the transmission. It actually it's done before. It's jammed, seized, toast, broke. Whatever word you want to use, it be done. So already got the disassembly started on there. I got parts off right there. I don't know if the light will show or lack of light. I don't know. You guys can't really see. I don't have a light with me right now. So, anyway, that hooks onto the back of the clutch pedal link arm, which connects to a little shaft that goes into that master cylinder, which is all going to get replaced. So got that part on the way, with also the new lower ball joints. So we'll get that all taken care of for them and get this thing back on the road. Alright guys, so got new parts in. I got the new lower ball joints and the new master cylinder. So we're going to get that all taken care of. So what we got going, got the bag of new parts right there. And got the engine and transmission back up in place. It's still being held by my support bar here. But got it, a few bolts in it, got the new clutch in, got the new throwout bearing, new pressure plate and disc, all those good stuff. As you see, I got that subframe back in place. Just the bolts are just in there, they're not tight or anything yet. Just got that back in place. Alright. So, still gotta hook the rack and pinion back up. Get the bungee cords off it that's holding it in place, but you get those off, put the bolts back in it, get it mounted, get the subframe and get all the suspension back together, get it all back together here, get all these parts back on the car. And in the process, as it's going back together, I'm going to be replacing the lower ball joints and that guy right there, the clutch master cylinder. I'm going to go through bleeding that out, make sure there's no air in the line between the master cylinder and the slave cylinder. So this will be it for this video. I'll mark this as part 1. And the next video, I'll end up showing you the rest of what I'm doing here, the progress, and getting it all back together. The other thing here we're going to be doing also, see if I can get it with this selfie angle, and you see those hazy headlights. I'll get a before and after and see if I can get someone to record some in-process work of me restoring the headlight lenses on this thing for them. So, alright. Awesome, guys. Please subscribe. Let's build this channel. Let's grow this group. And the more people we get subscribed on, more subscribers I can get, the more I'm going to be able to do. And instead of just showing basic repair work, I'll start being able to start showing more upgrades, which is what I really want to do. I want to get into some more projects, upgrades, making things mo better and mo faster. Including my little project right there. That little guy, unfortunately, is probably going to get parked until I can get the money to get a new differential. Whether I go to the junkyard and get a used transmission and just deal with whatever differential is in there, whether it be an open diff or a limited slip if I get lucky, because that's what's in there right now. The factory limited slip is slipping like it's not supposed to be. It's actually shuddering, making a grinding, squealing sound. It's horrid. The transmission's gonna have to come back out, and I'm gonna have to put in another one. You know, affordability wise, I'm probably gonna end up having to go with the used transmission from the local junkyard that I'll pick up for $200-300 and just deal with whatever differentials in it for now until I can afford the upgrade that I want to do, which is a performance limited slip. It's a actual gear and cam type differential that's unlimited warranty, and it's not going to die no matter what I throw at it. So that's where I'm looking at going with it. Unfortunately, the parts to do that for the new parts, the upgrade is about $1,200 to $1,300 for the parts and materials. So I'm in limbo on that one until I can get the money to get that up. So if anybody wants to try to help a brother out, hit me up on my email. I'll put that in the description below. Let me know, get in touch with me, and we'll work something out to try to see if you want to help out with the Blue Goblin project. I want to be able to get that thing on the dyno. I want to see what it's putting down, and I want to be able to get it out on the track and see what it actually runs. Have some fun with it, get it out in the car show, things like that. But right now, with the noise it's making, it's embarrassing, honestly, to be driving it. It looks great, but yeah, the noise it makes when I go to try to start moving, it's horrid. So, all right, guys, hit the subscribe, tune in for more. Let's keep making things mo better, mo faster. See you next episode.